Good morning, boys and girls. It's Mr. Shermer here. It's Tuesday, May 26th. I hope you had a great Memorial Day. You got to enjoy the nice weather outside today and this past weekend. All right. Today we're going to do 15-3, part of 15-3, because we're doing 15-3 all week. All right. See how it says my little calendar here? 15-3, 15-3, 15-3 all week. All right. So you can jump ahead if you want, but make sure you watch the videos so they're helpful, and we'll talk about them in our Zooms throughout this week as well. All right, so we're doing 15-3 in our math book, page 823. Go ahead and get that out for me, please. Page 823. Mr. Sherman needs a haircut. All right. Here we go. We're going to watch our video. Circle our I can. The normals.
How can you analyze and compare shapes? What are different ways you can classify these quadrilaterals?
Remember, they're quadrilaterals because they all have four sides. Every one of those shapes has four sides. So we need to analyze and look at, analyze means look at, and compare these quadrilaterals.
How do you know all the shapes are quadrilaterals?
Well, Natalie, I just said they all have four sides.
Have four sides, so they are quadrilaterals. The shapes also have differences, so you can classify them into smaller groups.
Let's see what the groups are.
Shapes B, D, E, F, and G are also parallelograms. Each has two pairs of parallel sides.
Because they're parallelograms, they have two pairs of parallel sides. Remember, opposite sides are considered one pair. Okay?
Why are shapes A, C, H, and I not parallelograms?
Because they don't have two pairs of parallel sides.
Shapes A, C, and I have no pairs of parallel sides. Shape H has one pair of parallel sides. Shapes D, E, and G are also rectangles. Each has four right angles. Shapes B and D are parallelograms that are also rhombuses. Each has four equal sides. Shape D is a square and is in every group. It is a quadrilateral, a parallelogram, a rectangle, and a rhombus.
All right, so you guys might be confused on this. The big group is quadrilaterals, this one, big group. It breaks down into smaller groups. These smaller groups are parallelograms, rectangles, and rhombuses. Parallelograms is the second biggest group. And then we break down the parallelograms because all parallelograms could be rectangles too. Not all of them, but some of them could be. They break down to here. Okay? These are rectangles. These are rhombuses. The square is a quadrilateral, parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus. That's the only one. The square is the only one that can fit all four of these categories. It's a very special shape.
Why is the square also a parallelogram?
Because it has opposite sides that are parallel. All right? And it's a rectangle because opposite sides are the same length. And it's a rhombus because all sides are the same length.
Squares have two pairs of parallel sides, so they are also parallelograms. Notice that all squares are rhombuses, but not all rhombuses are squares. Shape B is a rhombus, but not a square, because it does not have four right angles.
Okay. Shape B is a rhombus, but not a square because it does not have four right angles. We talked about that last week when we did, when Logan talked about it on our Google Zoom. All right, and we went over it. A square and rhombus are different because a square has four right angles, a rhombus does not. Both have sides the same length, though. Okay, so parallelograms. B is a parallelogram. D is a parallelogram because they have two pairs of parallel sides. So is E. So is F. So is G. Okay, rectangles. E is a rectangle. This would be trapezoid. This would be a trapezoid. They're all quadrilaterals, all of them. All right? Remember, D is the only one that fits all the squares. It's not a trapezoid because it has more than one pair of parallel lines.
Now you know how to analyze and compare shapes.
All right. Here we go. First thing we always do, circle our I can statement. Let's read it. I can analyze and compare quadrilaterals and group them by attributes. Attributes means characteristics. What do they have? Their characteristics. Describe at least two things that are the same in all, excuse me, or some of these shapes. Describe two things that are different. Okay, so same. What two things are the same about all these shapes? Good, Brennan. All quadrilaterals. That's reason 1. 2. What's the second thing that's the same in all or most of these shapes? Good. There, Tony. Tony says A, B, and C are parallelograms. Good, Tony. What is different about these shapes? One thing, D and E are trapezoids. Good there, Juliana. But A, B, and C are not. Number 2. D and E are trapezoids, but A, B, and C are not. They're trapezoids because they have one pair of parallel lines. This line is parallel with this one, and E is actually not a trapezoid, sorry. Just D is a trapezoid. D is a trapezoid, but A, B, C, and E are not. This is a diamond. It has no pairs of parallel lines. E is a diamond. Okay, so they're the same because they're all quadrilaterals. They all have 4 sides. Most of them, A, B, and C, are parallelograms. These ones are not, D and E. D is a trapezoid. But A, B, C are not, and E is a diamond. And the rest are not diamond. B is a rhombus, not really a diamond. Okay, we're not going to do this one. Let's cross that off. I'm not a big fan of that question. Okay, I want you to focus on this stuff. Okay, let's flip here. Convince me we're not going to do. Not a big fan of that question either. Okay. All right, number 1 on page 825. Okay. Which shape on the previous page is a rhombus but not a rectangle? Explain. So we got to look at this page 824. Which one is a rhombus but not a rectangle? So These are all rectangles, and these are the rhombuses. So B and D is a rhombus, but not a rectangle, because they have 4 equal sides. So pick one. D, sure, there. Cole will pick D. D, because all 4 sides are equal length. Remember, for it to be a square or rhombus, all 4 sides have to be the same length, have to be equal length. For it to be a rectangle, opposite sides need to be equal. All right, number 2. Can you have a square trapezoid? Explain. What do you think there, Emma? No, good, Emma. No, because a trapezoid has what there, Taylor? Correct, Taylor. Only one pair of parallel lines. But a square has 2 pairs of parallel lines. That is a good explanation, Emma and Taylor. Nice job. So to recap, D is a rhombus because all the sides are the same length. It's not a rectangle because in a rectangle, all 4 sides are not the same length. Can you have a square trapezoid? No, because a trapezoid only has 1 pair of parallel lines, but a square has 2 pairs of parallel lines. All right, give everybody a second to write that down. All right, number 3. Which shapes on the previous page are not a parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, or square? So I'm assuming on this page they're talking 824. Which ones are not a parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, or square? So whatever ones are not here, right? Because B, D, E, F, G are all parallelograms. D, E, and G are all rectangles, and B and D are rhombuses and parallelograms. So, which ones did we say? Good, Jaden. A is not. Good, Coop. Coop says C is not. Good there. Nice job. Sophia, I forgot your name for a second. H is not. Any more? Good, Andrew. I. All 4 of those are not a parallelogram, a rectangle, rhombus, or square. A, C, H, I. They're not that because A doesn't have 2 pairs of parallel lines. Either does C, either does H, or either does I. Very good. All right. All right, what attributes does a square have because it is always a rectangle? Who can help me with this one? Take a shot at it there, Rye. Good, Rye, I like your explanation. A square has 4 right angles, just like a rectangle does. And what else, Rye? Opposite sides are equal. Good. This is a square rectangle, 4 right angles. This is a square. 4 right angles. This side is equal to this side. This side is equal to this side. This side is equal to this side. This side is equal to that side. A square has 4 right angles and opposite sides are equal. That's why it is always a rectangle. Right there. Give everybody a chance to copy that one down. All right. In 5 through 9, list all the polygons shown at the right, so here, that fit each description. If there could be no such polygon, tell why. All right. Number 5, has at least one set of parallel lines, or one pair. You can put pair here so we don't get confused. Has one pair of parallel lines, but is not a parallelogram. So which one of these has one pair of parallel lines, but is not a parallelogram? I'm looking at, I think there's at least 2 from what I see. Good, Max. Max is saying B. Because Max says this line is going to be parallel with this line. But this line is not parallel with that line. Good, Max. So Max says B. And Logan is screaming E. Very good, E, because those are trapezoids. Now you're thinking C, but this line would eventually intersect with this line. And this line would eventually intersect with that line. So they're not. C is not. Okay. All right, number 6. Is a quadrilateral but not a parallelogram or trapezoid? So we got to find the ones that are quadrilaterals but not a parallelogram or trapezoid. I think the only one that fits this one is C, because B and D are trapezoids. B and E are trapezoids. A, D, F, and G are all parallelograms. So the only one that fits this one is C. Okay. Is a square and not a parallelogram. Number 7. Is a square and not a parallelogram. Well, F's not a square. D's a square, but that's also a parallelogram. A is a square, but that's also a parallelogram. B and D are trapezoids, and G is not a square, so there's none there. All right? If there's no such polygon, tell why. None, because why? Beezy, all squares are parallelograms. Good, Beezy. Good job, Bees. All right, Landry. Is a rhombus and not a rectangle. Landry. Rhombus but not a rectangle. A and D. Good, Landry. All right, Summer and Aiden. Is a parallelogram and not a rhombus. Summer. Summer says F. That's a parallelogram but not a rhombus. Good. Summer. Because all sides are not equal here. And Aiden, what do you say? G. Good. G, because all sides are not equal here, so it can't be a rhombus, but they're both parallelograms. A, all 4 sides are equal, so that's a rhombus. And D, all 4 sides are equal, so that's a rhombus. All right. Let everybody get a chance to finish copying those down. And we are done for the day. We're going to do page 826 on Wednesday's video. And then 827 and 28, we'll talk about in our Zoom. All right? If you want to actually, yeah. 826 on Wednesday's video. I'll post that tomorrow. 827, if you guys want to do that one on your own, we'll talk about it on our video on Thursday and Friday, and then do this one on your own too. Okay? I'll talk more about that tomorrow in my other video. All right, so just focus on what we did today, boys and girls. If you want to jump ahead because you think you're getting it, you can. All right, but don't go too far ahead. Okay, now I'll post another video tomorrow for page 826. Okay? All right, boys and girls, enjoy the rest of your night. If you have any questions, write on Google Classroom, have your parents call me, text me, or email me. All right, bye, guys.